Next, I'd like to introduce another important function, IMO programming. After generating the remote, it is also necessary to program the remote to the vehicle. KeyTool Max Pro already combines programming and remote generation functions. We can directly use the device for IMO programming after generating the remote. The IMO programming function of this device supports most models, such as Alfa, Romeo, Honda, Citroën divided by DS, Cadillac, Chevrolet, and so on, as well as the latest KFD types, which can be directly supported without any additional adapters. Only a portion of complex vehicles cannot be supported, and it differs from KeyTool Plus in that Max Pro does not support IMO programming for certain vehicles. For example, Mercedes-Benz, Volkswagen 4th Generation, BMW CAS for FEM-BDC, and so on. These types are only supported by KeyTool Plus, while KeyTool Max Pro does not support them. So it is IMO programming. If you have a dedicated remote at hand, or have finished generating the remote, you can connect Max Pro to the vehicle through the OBD port to program a new key. Select the vehicle model and year, and enter the corresponding option. Then read the function introduction carefully. This page provides detailed operation methods for adding remotes and clearing. IMO programming for some car models is achieved through manual methods, requiring us to connect it to the vehicles and then perform some operations to proceed. Some people say that Max Pro cannot read PIN code. The fact is that it can automatically read PIN code of certain vehicles. For example, it can read the PIN code of Buick, and we can see that there is an option read the PIN code. Aside from IMO programming, remote generation, and transponder clone, Max Pro also comes with an important function called IMO Data Tool for some vehicles whose keys are all lost and OBD fails to communicate. We can obtain their IMMO data by removing and reading the IMMO box or ECU chip, load the data into Max Pro by IMO Data Tool, and directly generate a working key to start the vehicle. This function is easy to use. We just enter it and then load the file. And here it is an option called File Management, which is used for file transfer. As Max Pro doesn't support reading chip, we need to read the data with other device, such as VVDIP or OG, and then transfer the data file from computer to Max Pro. Here's a simple solution. Xhorse provides cloud storage service. Users can open a browser and navigate to http Xhorse.com on PC, upload the IMO data file to the cloud storage, and then we can find it in My Data of Max Pro. Just download it and use it to generate a working key to start the vehicle. Sometimes a new file can arise after using IMO Data Tool, and the new file needs to be written back to the vehicle with a programmer, which means we should transfer the new file from Max Pro to a computer. The method is the same. You need to use the cloud storage as well. Hit Local File, choose the new file and start uploading. Then log into your account on your PC and download it from the cloud to your computer. That wraps up all about IMO Data Tool. Next function is called TPMS, and it is pretty innovative and practical. This feature has two uses. The first one is to program Xhorse Universal TPMS sensors to fit specific car models. Now take this model as an example. After entering the option, we can see that the sensor information will be displayed on the interface. First, we can program the new universal sensors to fit the BYD models. Second, we can make these new sensors be learned into the vehicle. In other words, program these new sensors to the vehicle. In addition, Max Pro can also diagnose whether there is a fault code on the tire pressure sensor and support clearing the fault code, as we have the videos to specifically introduce this function. I won't explain too much in this video. If you are interested, you can check the full videos on our YouTube channel. So we've talked about these functions on the main interface, like IMO programming, remote program, remote clone, transponder clone, generate transponder, IMO Data Tool, and TPMS. There is one important feature left here. Special function. Then we can take a look at these special functions. There are 16 special functions. Now I'll talk you through each function one by one. The first one is maintenance, the basic function of an OBD device. For example, we can use it for diagnosing fault codes and clearing them, resetting the oil gauge, resetting the mileage, programming headlamp, and other simple functions. Next is remote cloud recognition, which we can use to identify the chip type of the remote in the case that we don't know the car model. You can roughly get an idea of its chip type. The third function is remote renew. Some original remotes cannot be used a second time after being used. In this case, we need to renew them. After renewing the remote, it becomes a brand new original key again and can be programmed to various vehicles. Remote renew is quite important, and I would like to add more notes here. You need to connect a renew cable or use a remote renew adapter when using this function. But now, due to network lag, the diagram is not displayed. You can take a look by yourself. The renew cable needs to be purchased separately, and users can buy it from their area dealer, the same as adapters. Next is ICE divided by a clone function that used to clone common IC cards or ID cards. And here's illustrations to the correct position where you need to place the ICE divided by card. Then they will be identified and cloned. This function is usually used to clone ICE divided by ID cards for access control. Below is leakage detection and voltage detection function, and it requires us to use with this cable. It's only used for leakage detection and voltage detection of remote quickly. And here is VVDI remote function when we need to identify the type of remote. Customize smart key to change the button type. VVDI remote function is useful. These functions are mainly for Xhorse remotes, including query remote usage record, repair calibration, failure detection, Toyota smart key setting, especially some settings of buttons of Toyota remote and some modifications to its frequency. As long as it is a remote produced by us, we can make some custom modifications here. Then is ignition switch coil signal detection. If you don't know the type of vehicle remote transponder, you can put the collection antenna of the device close to the ignition switch and turn the key several times. Then the device will identify the type of vehicle remote transponder. Sometimes when a vehicle cannot be started with the original remote, we can also use this method to determine whether the coil has sent out an MO signal, thereby determining the reason why the vehicle cannot be started. Below is remote charge battery, used for all type BMW EWS series models with rechargeable keys. These rechargeable keys usually use button battery inside. Then is unlock Toyota smart key function, which is similar to remote renew function. But the difference between them is unlock Toyota smart key doesn't require any cable, just battery and remote. Place the PCB board here and start unlocking. Please note that only after the remote light flashes, the remote is successfully unlocked. Otherwise it fails. Below is Honda cycle key renew function only designed for Honda motorbikes. Put the transponder into coil position as the picture shown to read and then unlock. Next is 8E remote upgraded divided by unlock function, mainly for 8E remotes made by Xhorse, which can be used to upgrade and unlock 8E remote. Then is Mazda 8 for 9 smart key light repair function, which may be used frequently. It's acknowledged that the Mazda 49 key has a special feature. If the original remote is a 2-button remote, then you may be able to program it with a 3-button remote. However, after successful programming with car start function, there will be a light display on the instrument. We can't fix the light display by this function. Below is smart key password calculation, mainly for Great Wall models and BAIC Motor 46 models. For some models, their programming password can be directly calculated by collecting the vehicle's data. Then is set type of VVDI super remote function, used to set XT to 7 transponder as these types. As there is generate transponder option on the main screen of the device with the same usage. This special function is used less frequently. Next is set type of VVDI wireless remote function, used for XN series wireless remote. The last one is remote test function, mainly used for online remote test and modification between us engineers and customers. That's all for the special function. The next option is my favorite. We can use it to collect the frequently used options and other things, so that they can be found quickly. There is an update center at the bottom of the interface, including system update, app update, firmware update, and database update. The local version of the first three types should preferably be the same as the server version. If here is red, it means there is new content in the database that could be updated, and we can hit to view the specific update content. If there is indeed some data in new version that we need, we can update it. This is an icon called Redownload. Tap on it to force repeated updates. And this is Device Sync feature, which is used to synchronize device data online every once in a while. Just hit the Sync button. In this interface, we can see the function activation list of this device. For example, check the activation status of the 96-bit 48 function. And here is update log, which shows recent updates on this device. Okay, that's all for the update center. Next is history button. What operations this device has done will be recorded here. For example, the remote options you've generated, the remote options you've renewed, and the transponder options you've generated, and so on. All these can be checked here. Next is device information button. Here we can bind devices to your account and view the info such as versions, bound account. The second interface contains license info. For example, we can check the activation status of the 96-bit 48 function. Back to the main screen and let's take a look at it here. The red button More is used for points collection. After a period of work to generate remotes, hit this button to synchronize the points data and collect the points. Well, I've covered all the functions and features of KeyTool Max Pro. Hopefully, this could help you learn a bit more about the device. I'll see you in the next class. Bye.